Hello and welcome to my Dead People Facebook page. I might have shown this in a video, but it's been maybe over a year, I'm not sure. This is my favorite thing to do on Facebook, is to think about people who have died, and I just post their Wikipedia article on this page. I used to write comments or what I thought, but now I just post the entries and people can have their own opinions. Okay. So, we just lost Ozzy Osbourne, a person who had a huge influence. It's hard to imagine living in a world without Ozzy Osbourne. That day has come. I guess he had problems with Parkinson's. That's too bad. So, in this video, let's just see if we can get through every single person on this page. Okay, Ozzy Osbourne. Val Kilmer. I grew up watching him. He was in Top Secret, and he was in this movie about young geniuses or something. Was he a good actor? Yeah, he was pretty good. Okay. He had problems, apparently. So there's Val Kilmer. Jimmy Carter. Egon Schiele, one of my favorite figurative artists. He was a troublemaker. Frank Frazetta, the guy who did the Conan the Barbarian paintings. Fantasy illustrator guy. Very talented. I think people are re-examining his work. Roger Corman. If not for him, you wouldn't have James Cameron making Terminator. Roger Corman was quite an exceptional person, it turns out. Maurice Sendak. He wrote Where the Wild Things Are, his best book. The movie they made out of that book wasn't too good. Clark Ashton Smith. He's a poet. You should know he's associated with H.P. Lovecraft and the Conan the Barbarian author, Robert E. Howard. Okay. I've listened to his work as an audiobook. He was pretty good. Very imaginative. He had to do a lot of labor-intensive jobs, which is too bad. He had to take care of his parents. It interrupted his writing. Freddie Mercury. Everyone loves him. Ricardo Montalban. That was a great loss. Erin Moran. She died at age 57. She was Joni from Happy Days. She died young, didn't she? Bob Marley. William S. Burroughs. It's amazing he lived for as long as he did. James Earl Jones. That was a big loss. His performance in that first Conan the Barbarian movie was exceptional. Bob Newhart. I wasn't a huge fan of his, but Sometimes I just recognize people. Anyone who is dead qualifies to be on this page. Tommy Cooper, British comedian. He died while he was on stage. Jonathan Winters. I think he was Grandpa Smurf in the original Smurfs cartoon. And he was in the first two Smurfs CGI movies. I think maybe as Papa Smurf, I'm not sure. He was famous for telling long stories. And he's great, and it's a mad, 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 mad world. Bob McGrath. I didn't realize, but he was on Sesame Street for 41 years. Bob. He was always singing. And I mean, he was a good singer, but I don't know. Okay. The guy from the Cramps died. Lux. I can't remember his name. Another talent. Grace Lee Whitney. She was on 8 episodes of original Star Trek. And she quit. Or she got fired. Some Paramount executive made a pass at her or something that she wasn't happy about. Something happened. She wrote a book about it. We have a lot of people to get through. Philip Seymour Hoffman, party animal. Charles M. Schultz. Everyone loved his Peanuts cartoons. Judy Garland. Amazing singer. Penny Marshall, who played Laverne. She became a director. Moondog, a street musician. His music is on YouTube. He was working out of New York. People have covered his songs. He was a composer too. Douglas Adams, everyone's favorite space hitchhiker. That was a tragic loss. He died young. Antonio Vivaldi. Anyone dead from the past qualifies for this page, so sometimes I'll do historical figures just because I'm thinking about them. Why I like doing this page is I look them up on Wikipedia, I get to read about them and learn something about their life, and I post it here. Anne Rand. I've read just a little of her work. I recognize her talent and ability. I'm not a huge fan, but she deserves to be remembered. Brian Jones died too young. Keith Moon, another party animal. Paul Rubens, also known as Pee Wee Herman. He had cancer for the last 6 years of his life. Well, he smoked. Well, he's a talented guy. We just saw a documentary about him. It was really great. I recommend that documentary if you can catch it on HBO or something. John Bonham, the drummer for Led Zeppelin. That was a big loss. Orson Welles. His weight was out of control. Couldn't stop eating. But he was very talented. Sinead O'Connor, she died too young. Yvonne Craig, Batgirl and the Green Girl from Star Trek. Talented woman. Larry Flint. He's there because he's a freedom of speech person. Hugh Hefner. Man, what a life he led. Albert Einstein. Oliver Hardy. Stan Laurel. Greta Garbo. I have a lot of people to get through. Herman Melville. Okay. James Doohan. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Charles Dickens. I never knew what he looked like until I posted this. I was reading him in 8th grade. Lana Turner. Vladimir Horowitz. Talented pianist. Groucho Marx. Chico Marx. Harpo Marx. Larry Fine. Curly Howard. One of the most unique comedians of the 20th century. What happened is he would forget his lines while filming and would improvise to hilarious results, often imitated. Mo Howard, he was the mind behind that operation. Robert Reed, a tragic loss, a Shakespearean actor on a bad TV show. Tupac Shakur. Richard Pryor, another big loss. Eddie Van Halen. Veronica Lake. Tina Turner, another big loss. Doris Day. Don Knotts. Nipsey Russell. Humphrey Bogart. John Rivers. Let's see. Don Rickles, one of my favorites. Peter Sellers. He was one of my dad's favorites. Go watch Being There. That's a good movie. Ray Bradbury. I read him growing up. James Brown. No one else like him. He could sing, but try and understand what he says when he talks. Johnny Carson. A lot of people thought he was a jerk. I like him. It's hard to do a talk show and to make everyone happy. Robin Williams. There's a big loss. J.D. Salinger. Man, he was antisocial and just kept selling books, and he was a recluse, and they were probably never make the Catcher in the Rye movie. A lot of people want to make that movie. Olivia Newton-John, Kurt Cobain, Eric the actor, or Eric the midget from the Howard Stern show. Graham Chapman. He eventually quit drinking. He died too young. What? Only 45 years of age? He was drinking a lot. He started as a teenager. Let's see. Aubrey Beardsley. He's a great pen and ink artist. One of my favorites. Terry Jones. Monty Python. He had dementia at the end of his life. That was really sad. He was a talented writer. I think he even wrote for that movie Labyrinth. Okay. So, if I don't get through everyone, you can always look up dead people on Facebook and go through the page yourself. Buddy Holly. One of my favorites. There would be no Beatles without Buddy Holly. Even the name, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. The Beatles wanted to do an insect thing. And because of the Beatles, Ozzy Osbourne decided to become a musician. So that's Buddy Holly's influence. From him to the Beatles to Ozzy Osbourne. That's a lot of music history right there. Rudolph Valentino. He was a handsome actor back in the 20s, and lots of women loved him. Famous for being in The Sheik and The Sheik Returns, or The Return of the Sheik. I've only seen clips of those movies. I can't sit through them. They're a hard watch. Michael Jackson. Tom Petty. David Bowie. It's hard to imagine living in a world without David Bowie and Tom Petty. Michael Jackson's influence continues. And we live in a world without Prince anymore. Who would have thunk? He died too young, didn't he? That was just too bad. A lot of talent died with that man. George Carlin's gone. That's pretty sad. Andy Kaufman. He was a troublemaker. I watch a lot of stuff. He was a ball buster on the David Letterman show a lot. He was entertaining, not always funny. Some of his stuff on the Letterman show is a hard watch. I have Douglas Adams twice. Oh, he's worth having up. He's worth being up here twice. Dick York, the best Darren on Bewitched. However, Dick Sargent was actually the first choice to be Darren, but he was busy at the time. The episodes are better with Dick York. Lemmy, there's a big loss. Lemmy from Motorhead. All the Motorhead albums are on YouTube if you want to listen. I'm into it. Lucille Ball. If not for her, there would be no Star Trek. She greenlit Star Trek. So even if you don't like her show, You might appreciate her to make Star Trek happen. Jimi Hendrix, gotta put him up. Janis Joplin. George Harrison, that was sad. He smoked a lot. John Lennon, I still think about him all the time, even though he'd be like 90 now. Jim Morrison. I find out more and more that he was a jerk to a lot of people. Man, this list just goes on forever. Elizabeth Montgomery, our favorite bewitched woman. Sad loss. She was great. J.R.R. Tolkien. His work is more influential than ever because of those movies. I think those Hobbit movies would make him roll over in the grave. Though I think he would have liked a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies. I think he would have liked those. Christine McVie from Fleetwood Mac. It's a sad loss. A lot of her songs were hits. Okay. Voltaire, the writer. Charlie Chaplin, one of my personal favorites. Without his makeup, he doesn't even look like the famous tramp character. So he could go out in public and no one would recognize him. Christopher Lee, Dracula, and Saruman, and Count Dooku. Gary Gygax, the creator of D&D. He influenced a lot of people. My grandmother, Ivy Patterson Higdon, passed away 1913 to 2021. She was 109 years of age. I'm glad I got her in. Dusty Hill from ZZ Top. Oh my goodness. Charlie Watts, the drummer for the Rolling Stones. Lucian Freud, the grandson of Sigmund Freud. Lucian Freud was a painter, a really good painter that I like. William Shatner, You're Gonna Die is just a video I made. I got a lot of hits off of that video. Oh, that was why did I put that there? I think just for fun. There are so many dead people that I can't even keep up anymore. My friend Baseball Jimmy died. That was sad. He had a huge heart. His death was an accident. Carrie Fisher, there's a loss. My father, mother, and brother are dead, so I've been thinking about them. Dolores O'Riordan, the lady from the Cranberries, a very talented singer. Leonard Nimoy, a really nice person. He used to smoke, but he quit. Edgar Allan Poe, one of my favorites. Gene Wilder, that hurt my feelings when he left us. I don't want to miss anybody. DeForest Kelley, Dr. McCoy, his greatest role. Madeline Kahn, a very talented woman. She was really great and funny. Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. Bill Hicks. Every 6 months I listen to his catalog of material. Katherine Hellman, she was on Soap and in that great movie Brazil by Terry Gilliam. She She's a very talented woman. Ralph McQuarrie, the illustrator that helped get Star Wars off the ground. A very talented man. He made Star Wars happen. I put Graham Chapman in again. His King Arthur was a command performance. Marilyn Monroe, gotta put her in. Oh, we almost got through the whole page here. Jack Wilde, my favorite, from HR Pup and stuff. He had a big influence on me as a kid. It's like, hey, I want to be a child actor. And here's H.P. Lovecraft. If I can get this page to work. There were only like 2 pictures of him taken during his life. One woman said he was a good lover, so now everyone has 100,000 pictures. Okay. Stanley Kubrick. What a big loss there. Heather O'Rourke. She's a little blonde girl from Poltergeist. She only lived until 12. It's sad she had to die so young. This page is dedicated to all people who are dead and deserve to be remembered. Well, everyone deserves to be remembered. We're all human beings. That is everyone on this page. So I still have tons of people to put on here. I haven't even put Beethoven on here yet. So those are people who have influenced me in my life. I got thousands more to put up. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you get something out of it.